100.
Oh man.
But yeah, you was asking how what went on my day today, man.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty much just having builders on top of the house. They've been repairing the roof and shit.
Mhm.
Man, they not repaired and fixed the whole junk. But I let one of them niggas in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So he was already in the house, finna look at the roof on the inside and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he was like, well, he went outside for a minute, and then he was like, do you mind if I use your bathroom? I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't care, sure.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the other room, and I'm watching my dog, I'm watching Memphis or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that nigga there a long time down. So I started seeing Memphis. She was like, I was like, man, that nigga taking this shit.
Oh man.
Dude, this house has not ever had this type of smell in like years.
Oh my God.
Man, my nigga took a shit in the house.
Oh my God.
That junk was lingering in the house for an hour.
That man need to go to the doctor, man. Golly.
I was like, man, from now on, man, if a stranger come in the house and be like, I'm gonna have to be like Pops on front. You gotta do number one or number two.
Right.
Number one or number two. Man.
Yeah, you got to be like,
it literally smelled like somebody died in the crib, man. I was like, dude.
That's terrible, man.
Dude.
And
I would have preferred the nigga took the shit outside or something, man.
Oh man, that's terrible, man. God, yeah, that's bad when somebody, that's why a lot of times like folks working on your crib or something, and they be like, can I use your facilities? Man, my toilet messed up. Man, I've been trying to get that junk fixed for like a week, man. I'm just holding off on it because I'm paying y'all to do this here. I'm sorry, man. It's a store right up the street though.
And then I'm so wrong. I sprayed down the toilet seat.
Man, you ain't wrong, man. You know what man,
it's a spray bottle, just nothing but bleaching water, like
man, bleaching water. You got the germ destroyer.
All right. Trying to make sure.
Oh, man, you don't know what that man butt been, man.
I was like,
oh
man,
my God, dude.
Never again. Never again.
No, sir, not at all.
I mean, it was that smell that it like stays and lingers in your nose hairs, so you smell it for like half of the day.
It's that funk that grab onto the skin inside your nose.
I was like,
grip it and hold onto it tight.
I was like, this nigga been gone for like 4 hours. I still smell it.
That man, he took a shit and then left, and his ghost was still in that shit.
Hey, the ghost of the shit. The ghost of shit's past. Face ass. What the fuck? I'm like, man, dude.
Boy, they let the window up. Man, that's when you just want to take your toilet seat and rip it out and throw it away.
I should have left. I should have left. I should have just left and be like,
man, look here. Let me just go on and drive. Leave this bathroom window up. Cut this fan on. Just go on. Leave this junk. Come back about 4 hours later.
Memphis wasn't having. She was just barking.
She was like, alert, 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 pimp down, pimp nose down.
Oh man, take it. Then he gonna leave about the house. See, like nigga.
See my ass, see your ass up out of here.
No,
with a fan,
right,
and some air freshener. See that.
All right, let me go and get this junk started.
Let's get it started. I'm feeling good.
What's good? It was good. I am your host, Jason J. Will Does It, aka. You know what? I gotta think of some AKAs
Yeah, you need
to
an
throw
AKA.
in.
You need an AKA. I mean, let me rephrase that. You need an AKA, but not an AKA. Not that kind of AKA. But
Look at you throwing entendres out there. Look at him.
Face ass.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I see how this episode is going to be. But I am your host, Jason J. Will Does It, and I got my guy, Ivan
the Great.
Any AKAs?
AKA SHAW. Shaw.
There we go.
There it is.
I was slow for a minute. I'm like, what the fuck is this nigga speaking?
I was pausing like, what's this man finna spell?
Oh, man.
That's me. I be Shaw. What's your weekend been like, man?
Man, the weekend. My weekend was kind of, it was all right.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really complain. No major complaints. I can never really say so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, had some family issues.
Mm-hmm.
They're sick. Well, you know, a couple of family members sick, down and out or whatever. But outside of that, it's pretty good.
That's good, man.
And yours, sir?
Man, excellent, man. Always spending time with the children and teaching and building with them. Especially, man, got to me and my son got to work together earlier today and just teaching him the aspects of the business. Yeah. Oh, yeah, looking at it. Yeah. So just, you know, getting a chance to teach him the aspects of the bit, not just our business, but just teaching them aspects of
working.
Yeah, just work you right on top of work ethic and discipline, time management, and, you know, being committed to finishing jobs and stuff like that. So, and yeah, man, just a great day, man. Just a great day. Today's been a great day.
You you've been instilling like to want to work for himself?
Yes, absolutely. I know that. Excuse me. That may not be, you know, everybody's shtick or everybody's thing, but, you know, I endeavor to teach him to always. He may not be quote unquote an entrepreneur per se. He may not choose that, you know, path, but at least if there's a time where he has to work for himself or do things for himself to provide his living, he will be able to. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just kind of teaching him different things about how, you know, we kind of manage time and manage expenses and how we operate. And already he's understanding what, you know, what's important and what needs to be purchased for the business, and just how to speak to customers. Hello, how you doing? Provide customer service and so forth. Good customer service, that is. And so, man, I just think that if you start, you know, you start kids out young, even, I mean, and those are just, excuse me, those are just basic tools that can help them even if they work for somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But and because everybody's not going to be an entrepreneur, because it's a lot of work, it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of ups and downs, and not everybody's cut out for it. But even if we give our kids those tools and say, hey man, you know, if you happen to need to do this one day, and if you do decide to do this, like, you got everything you need at your disposal. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to give it to you. So yeah, man, I definitely think we need to teach our kids to be more dependent on themselves in some aspect.
Now, now that you say that, it really wasn't a topic that I was going to talk about today, but now that you bring it up, you know, you can teach kids financial literacy through Monopoly, man.
Absolutely. The game Monopoly, the game of life, the game Life.
I didn't even really know about the game of life pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than Monopoly, but it shows, now the game of life, it just shows you, like, if you get married, you get kids, it shows you that little road that you take type of thing.
Right.
So I understand that. But that Monopoly jump, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do a whole podcast about how deep Monopoly is.
Because, like, it's easier to teach your kids if it's just y'all two playing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's simple. It's the basics. It ain't going to really be that long, but there ain't going to be really no ending in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So you can show the basics of it.
Right.
When you have more people playing, my nigga, now it's like you got to move your elbows. Y'all about to fight.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody want to buy property,
it's way more competitive.
land.
It's way more competitive. That's a deep game. Yeah, that's a whole podcast by itself.
It is.
There's a big breakdown, an outline we could definitely do on just the game Monopoly and how it and just really how it parallels everyday life.
But it's like I just make mention of it because it's like we scramble so much to find teaching tools as far as how can I buy some land? How can I do this? How can I do that? My nigga, you can go to any retail store that sell games. This junk 15, the basic junk is like $15.
Yep.
And you can just learn the basics.
And board games are actually a lost art in the household. Remember, board games used to be a big deal. Like, you remember on they used to show commercials for board games during primetime TV because they knew that families were watching. So Milton Bradley bought plenty of airtime while family shows were on. And they would show
the only one that
board games.
That was the only one that didn't have a commercial though.
Who?
Monopoly.
Really?
I've never seen a Monopoly commercial.
I could have sworn I've seen Monopoly commercials.
You might have seen that Monopoly Man.
Because the McDonald's thing.
Yeah.
Because the McDonald's thing, probably.
But never have there. I don't recall a commercial for Monopoly. I have seen a commercial for like Life and them other board games, but I've never seen one for because I want to say even Shoots and Ladders.
Shoots and Ladders.
That might be another one too. But I've seen the commercial for those. But I've never seen it for Monopoly.
Monopoly was okay. So Hasbro. Well, it's published by Hasbro. Now, and I'm just kind of looking at some fast facts about it. So actually, you've got, excuse me, you can play it online now as well. So
it might not be as fun. I don't know. It might.
I mean, it just all depends on how they put it together. You know what I'm saying? So, but man, I think what is it? It's probably one of the top board games ever made, if not number one.
But you know what? Not amongst us, though.
Of course.
Not amongst us.
Of course. Yeah. You know how it is.
I mean, because although these games are not bad, but I mean, we're more focused on playing dominoes, spades, gin rummy, tunk, Uno, stuff like that. Yeah. Now, dominoes is cool. Yeah. It's still you still got to
numbers.
Think. Numbers, thinking, strategy, all that other type of stuff. But the other stuff is just entertainment.
I mean, I think games or the concept of board games was supposed to be, again, like parallel to actual events or actual experiences in some ways.
Video games came,
and then video games came.
The Nintendo came out, and it was just like,
of course,
Monopoly. I got duck hunt right here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and we ain't even hunt. Right, we ain't even hunt
at
ducks
all.
at all.
I just wanted to see the little dog come up and laugh at me real quick. Yeah.
So a little quick question for you before we move forward. You talked about Monopoly, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of trivia. So, what is the most important real estate to own in the game Monopoly?
The most important real estate to own?
Most valuable property or best property to own in Monopoly, in the game Monopoly.
Utilities?
No. Let me give you one more guess.
Railroad?
No. So you want
Go ahead.
Okay, so excuse me. So of course, it says conventional wisdom is that the best property to own is boardwalk. Right? Actually, that's wrong.
Yeah, it is.
According to
everybody
this,
don't land on that junk.
Right. According to this, it says that the most savvy players know the most valuable property is actually Illinois Avenue.
Dude, so why you say that? The other weekend while I was playing that junk, we were fighting over fucking Illinois Avenue.
Okay, there you go.
Because so it was like, if I'm not mistaken, I had two. Because if I'm not, Illinois Avenue is that orange property junk. I had two of them junks already. The other player had the other one. Was not budging on selling it. Or we start going into negotiations as far as, so I give you these two properties here and get out of jail card. Or I give you these two cards here and $200 cash. Nigga was not budging. Wanted that whole corner. I'm like, hell no. But it teaches you negotiations. It teaches you what to throw out there to get your pieces, to get your land, all that shit. I'm like, dude, nigga. We should have been fucking playing this game.
We should have been playing it like we should have played it and kept playing it.
Yes.
I mean, like, you really, instead of us playing, and this is just a reference to, typically I say black colleges, right? And HBCUs, you already knew what time it was when you went to the UC or the student center, the student union, or whatever it was. Even if you wasn't at a black college, if you had at a PWI as well, most black kids went and played spades, right?
Right.
Dude, we should have been playing Monopoly. I don't care what your major is.
Because when I was
you should have been playing Monopoly. Like, all of us should. I say me too. I should have been playing it too.
What was that junk? What was it? Not Shelby State. That junk that's over there by the Penniform. What was it?
State Tech.
Man.
Yeah. It was State Tech, but all of it is Southwest.
I was at State Tech at the game room playing video games, shooting pool. We should have just set up a Monopoly junk.
Dude.
Man. Yeah.
And check this out real quick. I'm going to do this and we can move forward. So, because we can do a whole podcast on all this. So, when playing Monopoly, the conventional wisdom is that the best property to own is boardwalk because it commands the highest rent.
Right.
You hear that, right? However, savvy players know the most valuable property is actually Illinois Avenue. How can that be? Well, one of the biggest reasons is that Illinois Avenue's board position.
Everybody crosses their jump.
Thank you.
Everybody crosses their jump.
Remember, you just said it. 2 7 rows from jail gives it the distinction of being the game's most landed on property. Boardwalk is ranked 14th. The bottom line, check this out. You just said it. When buying real estate, the 3 most important factors are always location, 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 regardless of whether you're paying for it with monopoly money or real cash. And this is an article, excuse me, it's personal finance from Business Insider from article lenpenzo.com, September 5th, 2014.
Because Park and Boardwalk is like living downtown.
Exactly.
Everybody ain't living downtown.
Exactly.
But that Illinois Ave is like right there in that middle class area. It's right there in that middle class area. Everybody ain't falling on Baltic Avenue. That's right when you pass go. That's the hood.
Exactly.
Rent $50.
Exactly.
So everybody ain't right there either. So it's like that first little row is like if you're just entering into buying real estate. Okay, I can buy these $50 properties. You buy them, but you don't hold on to them. Well, I guess you could hold on to them if you're trying to move up and get some other property or land or whatever like that. So, yeah, we definitely would. We're definitely gonna have to talk about it. If we talk about it, you gonna want to play it.
Yeah, exactly.
While we talk about it,
exactly. Oh yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
We can definitely do that.
Okay.
We can definitely do that.
Cause yeah, I was sitting there like while I'm playing the game, I was like, dude, I could have been on some shit a long time ago, just learning these simple little basics. This little simple little basic stuff.
Simple stuff, man.
I mean, cause
stuff, dude.
You pass go. That's paid. That's your paycheck every 2 weeks. Unfortunately, you have to go to jail. Apparently, you got the utilities. You got railroad. You got all that on there.
All of it. You got your property. All that stuff.
You get your those little chance and treasury cards. Some of them just like, hey, you got to pay taxes. All this stuff. I was like, man.
And that's the interesting thing, man. There's just so many elements of like real life. Like it really is.
But again, the video game came in and it dumbed us down.
It did. It did.
And it's dumbed us down even more.
Yeah, and it did. Now, there are games that do teach you various things, but those are the ones.
We ain't check for this.
Yeah, well, that's what I.
Stop it, fool.
I'm just saying.
We ain't checking for this.
It's available. It's out there. You know what I mean?
We'll buy Uno on PlayStation before.
Who buys Uno on PlayStation?
You might be laughing. Man. Somebody be like, I got Uno on PlayStation.
Yeah, you right. Who buys Uno on play? Who would buy Uno on PlayStation, on PS4? Who would buy that? Somebody would, because they're selling it, I'm sure.
And that's how I know, because the game is sold. The game is sold. That's how I know.
Man, that's crazy.
And before I continue before we start getting off on the tangent, whatever, I do need to say, I like to thank all the new listeners.
Absolutely.
All the day one listeners. Thank you for continuously listening. Thank you for telling somebody else who's probably telling somebody else. Fans are building day by day. We really appreciate that. We really do. So continue to tell somebody else. Continue to tell somebody else. There will be QR codes start posting around social media. So
absolutely
scan that junk and at least directly to the podcast. You ain't got to enter in no web address, no anything. You ain't got to even say, what's that nigga podcast name? Just scan the QR code and it come right on up.
That's it, man. That's
it. But yeah, thank you. If you have any questions that you want answered, if you have any topics that you want to talk about, DM JWILLDOESTV, DM me, DM Sam. I don't know. Yeah, DM me, DM Sam. Whatever. Also thinking about some guests to appear from time to time. Absolutely. So throw your head in the box and we can just start talking about that. But
absolutely.
Yeah. Just want to go and put that out there.
Man, for real, man.
Don't want to make it seem like I'm unappreciative of people that's just listening to us talking.
Oh, nah. We appreciate everybody. Anybody that engages in any topic, sends notes or just listens, man, from day to day. If you listen to 5 minutes of the podcast or the whole entire podcast, man, we just appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all a lot, man, for just taking the time to just sit along and listen to us have fun and just talk about relevant stuff. That's our aim. So thank y'all 100%.
So I want to say I want to rap about it real quick, but it might not be real quick. But all right, so I was watching was it the Golden Globes last night?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And they did like a lifetime achievement to Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah. Yeah. One of the GOATs.
Right. Okay.
One of the GOATs. Absolutely. Tom Hanks. Definitely one of the greatest actors of all time.
Which led me to think, has Eddie Murphy been labeled as, has he been honored like that? I don't think he's been honored like that.
No, I don't think so.
The only honoring I do remember, he had his own little special. I think it was for his birthday or something. That's the only thing I remember. And he did like a quick little comedy set or whatever. But that's all I remember. But everybody was paying homage to Tom Hanks. Now, not discrediting Tom Hanks. Dude, a dope actor like Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But like, have you noticed when people make mention of kings of comedy, the GOAT or whatever, especially our generation? Our generation, the first person they make mention of is who?
Our generation, when it comes to
comedians as a GOAT.
Of course, everybody talks about. They still talk about Pryor. They still talk about, and even now, people still mention Bill Cosby. They still mention Red Fox. They talk about, and if you want to talk about, I would say currently, people, Kevin Hart, of course, Chappelle, probably Chris Rock, maybe. That's a very, 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 very good point. It's a very good thing to point out about Eddie Murphy.
Because this episode might literally have to deal with the greatest, the unknown, the known greatest who don't get the greatest accolade. But yeah, so just think like, okay, what brought me to this? Like, okay, I saw the Golden Globes the other day. I was up. I was already up. It was like 4:00 in the morning. Metro was on. Metro.
Yep, I've seen it.
Nigga,
a lot of people hadn't seen that movie.
This is a good ass fucking movie.
It's a great movie. It's actually a great movie. It really is. I've seen Metro like 5 times.
I've only seen it. I think I remember seeing it maybe like twice. This was like my 3rd time. I'm like, dude, this is a good movie.
Yeah, it is. I had, matter of fact, there's no lie. I think I still have Metro on DVD in storage. I've watched. I know that Metro is a good movie.
Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Like so. So I'm gonna get to a list of credits, but like I was looking on social media and everybody was talking about like the Kings of Comedy after his SNL special, right? And one real talk, I don't even know how those 4 niggas got the Kings of Comedy and the Kings of Comedy tour. It was only one real nigga that's the Kings of Comedy that was on that tour.
And who was that?
Only real funny nigga, and that was Bernie Mac. The rest of them niggas was less than mediocre. The only other nigga I probably like is Cedric the Entertainer.
Excuse me.
DL Hughley is Garbage Juice.
Oh my God.
The only thing he has, the only good credit that he has is he's able to check people in the audience.
Yeah. But you're not the first person to say that. A lot of people say that DL is
that nigga routine is his same routine back in Comic View.
Yeah. So because he's
Comic View,
he does very well at responding to hecklers.
Yes.
A lot of times he'll start out on something and then he'll key in on somebody in the audience and he just goes in from there. Yep.
His routine is garbage. Just I'll put like this. If you go see his routine back on Def Comedy Jam, It's the same routine on Comic View, and it's the same routine that he keeps recycling every time. He might put another 5-minute fresh material, but everything else is the same.
Oh yeah, and I got some Eddie Murphy Award notables here when you get ready.
So, me personally, the king of comedy should be Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. Bernie Mac, Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle. Who is the fourth one? Chris Rock.
You gotta say Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. Out of that, man, Tracy Morgan, they should have got that nigga off the stage.
Well, Tracy Morgan was there. No. Tracy Morgan was there because he's an SNL alum. That's why he was there.
Okay.
Along with Chris Rock. Because you got to think about everybody on there, with the exception of Chappelle, are all SNL alums.
Keenan is funnier than Tracy.
Yeah, well, yeah, in my opinion.
And he ain't got no stand-up.
No.
Is he a stand-up comedian?
No, I don't think.
He's just a writer. He's
a writer. Yeah.
I'm sitting up there, I'm like... I was like, it's only two real niggas that was funny up there. Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy. Like I said, Chris Rock too, he have his moments, but funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And Chris Rock's comedy is a little different. He's
more political.
He's more political.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so I'm like,
so
I'm just gonna list off a few things that people sleep on.
Go ahead.
This man had 3 albums. Music albums.
Yeah.
Party all the time. I ain't saying that it was a platinum. I ain't saying it was a platinum album.
Okay. All right.
I ain't saying that.
All right.
He had 3 music albums.
3 music albums. Eddie Murphy,
and it was a top. And one of them was a top heart.
Was it? Yeah,
top heart. Top hit.
Top hit. Yeah. Yeah.
He had a song featuring Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Not him on Michael Jackson's song.
Michael Jackson on his song.
Michael Jackson was featuring on his song.
Yeah. And you got MJ to feature on your joint. That's pretty major.
Right.
Yeah.
The nigga was in Remember the Time.
Yeah.
With Michael Jackson and Iman. What else? Both of his comedy specials gross $50 million.
Yeah, they're
off the rip.
They are Eddie Murphy, Raw, and Delirious are probably 2 of the best stand-ups of all time. Eddie Murphy Raw is probably up there with Eddie Murphy. You have Richard Pryor live on Sunset Strip, probably. And some people might say, they probably say anything of Richard Pryor, but I would probably say Richard Pryor live on Sunset Strip. And you got Eddie Murphy Raw.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Dave Chappelle's Killing Me Softly.
I would say the Bill Cosby joint, and then
Bill Cosby himself.
Yeah,
is probably there.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cosby himself. Dave Chappelle's Killing Me Softly.
Chris Rock's Bigger and Deffer.
Yeah, was it Bigger and Deffer? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
That those are all like those were the Martin Lawrence. Was it You So Crazy?
Yeah.
Yep. Martin Lawrence, You So Crazy, maybe.
But the difference between all of them versus Eddie Murphy, Eddie Murphy owned it.
Really?
He owns that.
Wow.
He owned Delirious. He owned Raw. He owns them junts. He owns the first junk that just says it's Eddie Murphy.
Wow.
Because he actually got 3 comedy junts. Eddie Murphy is just the first one. You had Eddie Murphy, you had Raw, and you had Delirious. He dated a Spice Girl.
Yeah.
He married Babyface's ex-wife, Tracy Edmonds.
Yeah, he did.
He hosted Saturday Night Live for 5 years. Hosted for 5 years.
He hosted Saturday Night Live 5 years?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He even created his own characters. Buckwheat. That was one of his own characters.
Actually, those were his characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gumby Gumby was a character, but he did a little something else with Gumby though. Yeah.
Speaking of Gumby, he created the PJs. So he had the PJs. All of these joints, like name me a movie that you do not like about Eddie Murphy. I'll wait. And even then, it still was a good movie.
A lot of people would probably say
whatever that last movie he came out with probably was trash.
What is it?
It was like a serious movie, like Mr. Something.
Actually, I watched that movie and it wasn't trash.
And see, that's what I'm saying.
It wasn't trash,
but it didn't get no reviews, no airtime that he even came out with a movie.
The thing about it, when Eddie Murphy does serious roles or semi-serious roles, people tend to kind of ignore it. But Eddie Murphy is actually a good actor as well. He ain't just a good comedian; he's a good actor.
Yes.
And he's a good music. He knows. Do you know the dude he's got a Rasta album? He got a. Have you heard that one? He's got a Rasta album that came out like 3 years ago. Yes. And it wasn't bad. It is the songs he put out. I was like, these songs kind of bumping.
They're songs that you can dance, cause like even the song "Party All the Time." Yeah. He's playing around that he can sing, but you can still dance to the song.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? So hold on, I'm gonna run down these real quick.
Okay. Okay. You might run down some that I got a list of anyway.
Probably so. So so we're looking at major association awards. These are nominations and winning. So excuse me. Oh, you forgot about you didn't forget about it because you probably already got it on your list. But he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in Dreamgirls in 2007. He was nominated for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Shrek in 2002 because he plays Donkey in those movies.
Right.
And let's see, dude has been nominated for
mind you, is his movie, is it not? Is Shrek not his movie?
No, I don't think Shrek is. That's like a Disney thing or something. He just played the character in the movie, I think.
He has his own Disney cartoon movies though. The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Well, but that was
I'm just saying, it's a catalog in Disney though.
Yeah. So he was this is interesting. So he left SNL in 83, right? That same year. Check this out though. 83, he was nominated for New Star of the Year Actor, 48 Hours. In 1984, so in 1884 and 85, he was nominated for Best Actor in a Motion Picture for Trading Places and Beverly Hills Cop.
So I'm gonna tell you something about Beverly Hills Cop. Do you know that he wrote that?
Yes.
A lot of people don't know he wrote.
He did write Beverly Hills Cop.
He wrote Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2.
2, yeah. And there's another one. He's supposed to be doing another one too.
Man. So I'm gonna list off the junk. Like all most of the movies that he has played in, he has wrote, produced, and or directed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Harlem Nights wrote and produced. Boomerang. Vampire in Brooklyn. Norbit. Life. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. Coming to America. I want to say Holy Man.
I forgot about Holy Man. And that was a good movie too. Holy Man was a good movie.
When I seen it, I was like, man, Holy Man, I ain't finna.
I went to the movie.
Then I watched it, John. I was like, this is a dope movie with a moral to the story. That John, 1,000 Words. Have you seen 1,000 Words?
1,000 Words. I saw that one too.
That's a dope movie because it make you like, dude. This man. Now I don't know if he wrote this, but another classic, The Golden Child.
Oh yeah, The Golden Child. Yep.
Like, okay, you know how you do music, and it's like
he has 40 feature films.
Yes, he has 40. 40.
Yep.
And probably 30 of those joints he wrote and produced himself. Nigga. Name any of your favorite comedians who even get half of that list like that.
No, it's no. And then a lot of this was done. A lot of this was the 80s, 90s.
When niggas couldn't get nothing.
Yeah, he was getting it.
When niggas wouldn't get nothing.
Yeah.
This nigga party with Prince.
Yeah.
I think black people started abandoning when he started messing with white women. Outside of that,
yeah,
I'm like, well, why did we leave this nigga alone?
Yeah.
He was Tyler Perry before Tyler Perry.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing he didn't have the studio like what Tyler Perry got.
Right.
But when he does a all black cast, what was Harlem Nights? What was Coming to America? What was Life?
Yep.
Mostly all black cast.
Yep, that's true.
We be sleeping on him. When we say GOAT, Eddie Murphy's name does not even come up.
I don't know why, man. I do not know why.
It's crazy. His name don't. And it's gonna lead me into the next jump. His name don't come up like Kobe. His name don't come up. We talk about Jordan and LeBron, nigga. In all honesty, and I don't even really fuck with Kobe like that, but I'm gonna say something.
Come on,
Kobe is better than Jordan.
Man, get out of here.
Okay,
shut up, man. Shut up. Then you really tripping now. And I'm a Kobe Bean Bryant fan.
Am I?
Yeah, you tripping.
Okay. How?
No, you tell me how he better than Jordan.
Okay, I put it like this. One, Kobe made anybody that he played with or around better. What did Jordan do? Jordan didn't make them niggas better.
How you figure? This a whole different podcast, man. We talking about Eddie Murphy.
No, what we are talking about, I'm talking about people who are getting slept on, who don't get mentioned, but other people are getting mentioned over them.
I get that. But that's a whole nother podcast. For real. That's a whole nother podcast.
Tell me why would you say that Kobe is not better than Jordan?
We ain't talking about Kobe and Jordan. We talk about Eddie Murphy, man. We talking about Eddie Murphy.
But I just said this is leading me into my next conversation.
I get that, but that's a whole podcast.
No, it's not.
No, it is. That's an entire podcast that we can actually do that in front of our audience.
How? Why?
Dude, do you know how many people think the way you do? And how many people think the way I do? For real. Listen, a lot of folks that think that Kobe was better than MJ.
I put it like this. I don't like Kobe because I don't like Kobe because he was an MJ clone.
Okay.
But if you just like, yes, I still say Kobe is better than Jordan.
Okay.
But when this whole conversation comes up about LeBron, they never say, is he even better than Kobe?
Right. There's a reason.
The conversation never comes up like.
There's a reason for that. So
how can you even have the conversation of saying, is he better than Jordan?
So now I'm finna go somewhere.
And he ain't even better than Kobe.
So now I'm finna go somewhere. All right. So I'm finna go off on a tangent.
Okay.
And I'm finna mention two key things that are very important. The reason why. Again, that Kobe Jordan debate, that's an entire podcast. Y'all will hear that one coming because that's an entire podcast by itself, especially for you sports fans and you LA fans and you Chicago fans and Jordan fans and Kobe, whatever.
You see what's right up on Eddie Murphy? It's a Jordan versus Kobe versus LeBron.
I'm looking at it. So that's like there are a couple key things.
We can't leave the Michael Jordan nostalgia alone.
Yeah, well,
that's all it is.
Yeah, but there's a lot of reasons. I say yes and no. I say yes and no. And I again, that's another podcast. But what I'm getting at is there are a couple of two things that happen, and one thing that happened in Kobe's career, besides the comparison to Mike, that why people move past him, and for Eddie Murphy as well. And I, you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going. Exactly. So
you wasn't shooting with me in the gym.
Exactly. So for Eddie Murphy, if you can remember, for Eddie Murphy, it was him picking up. In Hollywood, picking up a transgender. And so at that particular time, it was socially overall, not in Hollywood, because Hollywood is a whole different ball game, right?
You know black culture. We were
like,
get back.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was at a time where it was like, oh man, Eddie Murphy got caught picking up whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But he came out with the clumps afterwards and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. But see, you got to think about it. Eddie Murphy was so used to Hollywood at that point. Right?
Yeah.
So people that work and live and do business in Hollywood, they already know what's up. Like, they already know what's up. Like, that ain't no shock or surprise to them. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, from a competitive standpoint, so think about anybody that was on his level or wanted to compete with him at that time was happy that news came out and was spread all over, because you got somebody in Atlanta, Georgia, that may be an Eddie Murphy fan, like, oh, I can't believe he did that. I ain't watching another Eddie Murphy movie. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? How it works? Yeah. But in Hollywood, nobody really gave a damn. They didn't care, because it's Hollywood. Anything goes in Hollywood. That's why they call it Holly Weird, because it's like the two things that you would be surprised that two different polar opposite people will hook up. They said politics makes strange bedfellows, but in Hollywood, in influence and money and so forth, and it does the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
That public shaming, though.
Exactly. And so that's what it was. It was time to public shame this the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Right? One of the GOATs.
He getting too big for his britches.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then the rumors about him and Arsenio. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, so
I don't think there were no rumors though. But
well, maybe I don't. Listen, man. If it is not none of my concern, really don't care. All I'm saying is that
because if you believe the him and Johnny Gill, then you have to believe the.
Oh, I remember. I heard about all that shit too. But again, I don't like. Okay, like you know what I'm saying. Like what I'm saying is that when it comes to
the craft,
and being great at what you know that you were put on this earth for, like there's always going to be some detractors and people that find something that or a chink in your armor. Because if you leave Saturday Night Live in 1983 and a few years later you are competing against the top actors the top actors in your category at that time, right?
Right.
And you're a relative. Well, I'm not necessarily a relative nobody, but 10 years ago,
right?
When nobody talking about Eddie Murphy except around the comedy circle, you know, some comedy circuit and circle, right? So at that point in time, you basically in the 80s and early 90s, in the 80s, you taking over Hollywood. Come on, dog. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
And he was taking over Hollywood to a point where, like I said, he wrote these movies.
Yeah. Writing scripts. And
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, because to me, man,
he like, oh, okay, so you ain't gonna fund this? All right, cool. I'm gonna be the executive director.
I'm gonna write it myself, or I'm gonna write it myself, or I'm gonna put together my own writers, and we're gonna do such and such and such. And then, you know what I'm saying? It was like, for me, man, growing up, Eddie Murphy was off limits right?
Right.
Because of his language.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He was off limits. He was basically,
and that's the reason why everybody gravitated to him.
And that was why everybody gravitated to him because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was basically the comedic offspring of all these great artists and all these great whatever. See, you know what I'm saying?
That goes back to one of our first podcasts. I never liked Richard Pryor.
It's impossible. I still can't understand how you don't like Richard Pryor, man.
I couldn't
I'm
relate.
Not saying, I'm not even though. I mean,
I ain't gonna say I couldn't relate, but it's like the same. Like I said, it's the same reason why I don't like Mike Epps. It's the junkie humor. It's like laughing at a junkie tell jokes.
But Pryor's jokes are so much deeper than his addiction, though. That was the thing.
But when you see him on stage, he looked like a fiend, which he probably was. Yeah, but at the same time, is like looking at a fiend out there telling it's funny, but it ain't like he wasn't Eddie Murphy funny. He wasn't, to me, Bill Cosby funny. He wasn't Eddie Murphy funny. He wasn't that funny to me like that. Hell, definitely wasn't funnier than Bernie Mac.
Well, you have to also look at Pryor. If you look at, have you seen several of Pryor's movies?
Yeah.
Which Way Is Up?
He was a good, and you have comedians who they had a lane. They were cool comedians, but they were better actors. Mm-hmm. So I could see that I would say that he was a better actor than a comedian.
I don't know about that, man.
Because he knew his comedic timing fit very well with an actor's timing on the screen. Stuff like that. So, but I'm not taking away that saying that he wasn't funny. Mm-hmm. He's just not that funny to me for a greatest of all time. Mm-hmm. Cause like I said, my list don't have none of them old folks on there. Mm-hmm. Maybe Bill Cosby would be right up under that 5 or whatever like that. Then you got other people like Sinbad and stuff like that. Like I think Sinbad was better than Richard Pryor before I even would make mention of Richard Pryor.
Man, that's crazy, man. But that's your opinion. I respect that.
But
I respect it.
Like,
because a lot of the cats that may be on your list, they grew up listening to Richard Pryor.
I'm sure. But I didn't. And that was the other thing. I didn't grow up listening to Richard Pryor.
I mean, technically, no.
But when I go back to listen to it, like I put like this: if a person is funny and they got classic material, if you go back and listen to it right to this day, it'll still be funny. Like I can go back and look at Delirious and Raw, and that joint will still be funny.
Have you ever heard Bicentennial Nigger? Richard Pryor's Bicentennial Nigger? You need to listen to that.
Is that a stand-up or something?
It's an album. It's his stand-up, but it's an album. You need to listen to that.
I don't think I like it, but I try.
No, and this is probably Pryor at one of his, because see, Pryor's got he's got there were so many different aspects of Richard Pryor. Because a lot of what we saw was the later really, really struggling with addiction type of Pryor, which he was still genius. JoJo Dancer, Live on Sunset Strip, some of that, and then some of his later stuff. But Bicentennial Nigger, like a lot of the stuff when he was younger, the actual albums, man, dude, you need to listen to it, like for real. Like you need to listen to it.
Because I didn't really like Dolomite either.
You talking about Dolomite, the actual person Dolomite?
Rudy Ray Moore? Yeah, I ain't really like him.
He was basically one of the, I don't know, he was basically one of the founders of hip hop in that aspect, though.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that part, but
and your boy just did a movie about him.
Now I liked his interpretation of him playing it, the story of, but him as a comedian, I didn't like that. I didn't like that whole style.
But that's why I think comedy is,
you have your different versions.
You got different types. You got different types of comedy that fit different types of audiences, right?
Yeah.
Because I love George Carlin. George Carlin was
he was cool.
freaking hilarious. Like, and quiet as kept, you know, he got in his trouble and stuff, but Louis C.K. is freaking hilarious to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Listening to, and I
ain't started listening to white comedians until later.
Nah, man. I was, you know, reason being white comedians, because we saw white comedians on certain TV shows. And I'm going to tell you, watching Johnny Carson.
See, I never related to that stuff until I got older.
Because some of the subject matter was a little bit over our heads as a kid, right?
Yeah. So it they didn't really seem, because like even like Saturday Night Live didn't start getting funny to me until I got older.
Yeah.
Especially like the political jokes and all of those type of stuff.
Yeah. But dealing with black comics, black comedians and comedians, they spoke more to the black experience that we were familiar with, because hey, we were like, hey, we saw what was going on, like we saw it in the household, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of reason why we dug it and we felt it and we understood it, because they spoke to, you know, the black experience, you know what I'm saying? So, but man, staying up watching Johnny Carson, and I even watched the David Letterman show, you know what I'm saying? Which David Letterman, in my opinion, is probably one of the funniest people still living alive right now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
so you
God.
saying what? Because you ain't watched Letterman.
I did. I would attempt to.
David Letterman is hilarious. David Letterman is like
over
hilarious.
The people that we talking about?
No, not over. Okay. You like I said, you have to. Because think about it. Okay, so
you think he's funnier than Larry David?
Than Larry David?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good question. It's a good question, because Larry David he's funny.
Yes.
That's a good question.
Now, when you talking about comedic genius, that
I mean, Larry David, of course, think about where he came from, who he used to write for. Seinfeld. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he can't, I mean, if you
actually Seinfeld is a story about him.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Which Seinfeld is one of the funniest people alive too. You know, I mean, it's just he is like, that's the thing. That's the thing about comedy that I love, right? Because we're talking about Eddie, right? Mm-hmm. We're talking about Eddie,
right?
So,
and Jerry Seinfeld loves him.
Yes,
loves him. I was looking at that John. What is it? Interviews and cars and interviews or something like that.
Well, yeah.
And he picked Eddie Murphy up and they was riding around. He was interviewing him or whatever. That man was like, I'm like, how much longer you gonna ride this nigga dick for the first 20 minutes? But you all he kept saying was like, man, I love your.
Yeah, but you have to realize also that a lot of big time actors, actresses, comics, they didn't get to interact with Eddie Murphy the same way some of the other people that were closer to them, like Arsenio and
I'm sure he was probably more standoffish too.
But possibly so, because he was up here. You know what I'm saying? Like Eddie Murphy was up here when Seinfeld kind of blew up and came on the scene. But you also think about, they all came through or went through the same cycles of like the Comedy Store and all of that in LA, and they went through the Chitlin circuit. Like they traveled around doing comedy, whatever, but they all had to go through the Comedy Store. You know what I'm saying? And so, because John Witherspoon talks about that, super funny dude. John Witherspoon was around back in the day, so he was with Pryor back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Vampire in Brooklyn.
He was in Vampire in Brooklyn. You see what I'm saying?
Love that movie.
So a Seinfeld coming along sees Eddie Murphy. When Seinfeld's show began, Eddie Murphy was already that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had already hosted Eddie Murphy was hosting SNL back in the 80s.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So
we be sleeping on him.
I won't say we be. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say this. one of the things, and this when we've kind of talked about this before, with social media now, people are not using social media and the access to information really the way that we should. Because guess what?
Yeah.
Hold up now. Somebody plays, you can go out. Matter of fact, tomorrow, you can go outside, you and two of your friends, and create a little video, quick little video, and y'all do something and y'all check a little bit or whatever, right? And you post that video, people be like, man, it's the funniest shit I ever seen, right? Man, I ain't never seen nothing this funny. Think about what was said. I've never seen anything this funny. That doesn't mean it's the funniest thing ever done or one of the funniest things ever done. It's the fact that that person that saw it hadn't seen anything else to compare to that.
This is true.
Right?
Okay.
So what happens is over time, people they can only judge what they've seen or heard. Because when people say, man, Eddie Murphy ain't funny. I'm like, what you mean Eddie Murphy ain't funny? How much of Eddie Murphy material have you ever heard? Oh, I saw the movie Dr. Dolittle. Well, that ain't all Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy got a catalog long as your entire body, right?
I still remember a skit where that nigga was talking about his grandma, his auntie was falling down the stairs, and he was like, she was just rolling. Oh, Lord of Jesus, Jesus, Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord of Jesus. He said he never heard Lord of Jesus so many times.
Yeah. But if you grew up in a black household, you know exactly what he's talking about.
Yes,
right.
yes. That's one of my favorite, and that's how you know somebody is funny. If you can think of a quotable right off the top of your head, that nigga hit home.
Absolutely.
Gold.
Absolutely.
And I want to say that was Raw or Delirious. It might have been Raw where that joke came from, but that nigga was hilarious, man.
For real.
He even proved a point where he can make a movie by himself and still be funny. With the clumps.
Yep. True that.
He's like, oh, okay, y'all ain't gonna fund this movie? Cool. Bit. I just do me in everything.
Yeah.
The joke was hilarious.
Yeah. And so, oh man, I remember going to the movies and seeing Metro. I'm trying to remember, man, because that Metro was like 98 or something like that. I think it was.
It might be right.
97, 98, I think Metro was. And it wasn't a bad movie. Some people, oh man, Rotten Tomatoes, so it got a 3.
Man,
like,
fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
dude, like
it's Rotten Tomatoes.
Right, exactly. So I just think about all of the material, all of the, he was the voice of the dragon in Mulan. He's the voice of Donkey and Shrek. The PJs was his thing.
Right.
And you talk about, this dude got syndicated television. I mean, and that's where
he writes for the new Boomerang TV series.
Yeah.
I just found that out.
I mean, because the interesting thing to me is when you talk about longevity, because I think the most difficult thing to achieve in comedy is longevity, because you can be funny for 5 years and not be funny anymore. Like, for real. Like, you can be we know people that be like, they be funny they first couple years, and then you be like, dude, you might need to give it up. Like, or either get some better writers or something like that.
I think that's why Chris Tucker has not come back out.
Well, yeah. Chris Tucker's movies were much better than his stand-up, in my opinion. Like, even his most recent stuff, it wasn't trash, but it just wasn't, it wasn't like, oh my God, this is hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
That shtick that he has.
Yeah.
Has grown old.
It's grown old. Because his Michael Jackson thing and all of that, like, we've heard that before. We cool with it. We don't hate on it, but
one, somebody else is doing it and doing it better. True. So DC Young Fly is doing that. He's doing that whole little thing.
DC Young Fly kind of stole that from Chris Tucker.
That's what I'm saying. But he's doing it better.
And he's current.
Right. So if I want someone like that, I just get DC Young Fly and put him in the movie, and I ain't got to pay Chris Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, now that he's older, you don't want to see Chris Tucker doing that. So like that's why you ain't seen him in no movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, and the last stand-up joint that I seen.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't
even okay. Don't lie. Don't lie like that. Don't lie like that.
Hey, you know who stand-up is hilarious and is gonna probably be in my top list from now.
Who's it?
Is that Deion Cole?
I told you.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
I told you.
Oh my God.
I told that dude from beginning to end.
Like he does not. That dude. I'm gonna have to give. If we had an applause button, I'm gonna have to say, shout out to Deion Cole. I'm gonna say this. That is one of the greatest, best stand-ups I have ever, and I've seen a lot of them because I love comedy. That dude.
That's why I said I think it's better than that Dave Chappelle stand-up because
no, he ain't better than Dave Chappelle's.
I had the Dave Chappelle. It's on a different level of me. What I mean by funny.
I got you. I understand.
Dave Chappelle is making you think.
I understand that. Yeah.
He's telling jokes.
Yeah, I got you.
Straight out the gate. I'm hitting you with funny punches.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. I ain't stop laughing.
Right.
Beginning to end.
Yeah. Deion Cole's, and you know what? Also, I hate to compare comics a lot of times when it comes to that because there's different audiences,
material stuff,
especially
like that,
with ours too. Because you know what I mean? Because we all funny. We got, you know what I'm saying? Like, but Deion Cole's though, man, that dude.
I'm putting it up there with Dave Chappelle.
Hell yeah, that dude did. He said some stuff. I was like, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's why I made that quote. I was like, not my God. My God would not allow me to do that. Nigga was hilarious.
But he was saying stuff. I was like, man, I don't know if you wrote all of this or you and your partners wrote all of this, but bruh,
that's how you know. Because he writes for people on SNL.
Exactly. Yep.
He writes for other TV shows. That's how you know that's him.
Mm-hmm.
That nigga was hilarious, man.
Dude, and look, because I remember, and I've told this story so many times, but I gotta tell it again. So Deion Cole he did a show. Well, he hosted a show for Mike Epps. Mike Epps came to Memphis. This had to be 2000. It had to be like 90. This is like 99, 2000. Mike Epps came to Memphis. He came to Lemoyne.
Okay.
So a good friend of mine, she was promoting shows at the time, and her and I guess another group, her and a group put together. They got Mike Epps to come to Lemoyne to do a show. So Deion Cole was the host of the show, dude. It was, and I think somebody locally opened or whatever, and Deion hosted it. It's a great show. A lot of people didn't show up, right? It was probably, it may have been 80 to 100 people there, right? And there's several students there, right? Dude, Deion Cole hosting that show was funny as hell. But there's some crazy shit happened, right? There's a dude in the audience that was heckling Deion Cole.
Okay.
Bad idea. So
I see, he thinks so good on his feet, man.
So good on his feet, but he was mainly trying to ignore the guy, right? He was trying to ignore him. So again, this is 20 years ago. So he's, they traveling. He hosting and opening for Mike Epps, who was blowing up at the time, right? You know what I'm saying? And so we there to see Mike Epps, but nobody really knew who Deion Cole was at the time. So he opened. We was like, man, Deion Cole. Then he started knocking him out. We were like, man, this dude funny. He funny.
This nigga has been funny since Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah. So the guy,
the original Def Comedy Jam.
So exactly. So and he started telling us, and we were like, oh, okay, that's the dude, right? You know what I'm saying? We started putting the pieces together. And so the guy in the audience kept heckling him. So this guy was drunk, though. He was drunk. I got to say. He was drunk. I know that. But he was drunk. That's what I'm saying. And so then Deion started he started lighting his ass up. Like he started firing back. And dude got mad. And he was like, bro, don't get mad. He was like, how would you feel if somebody come to your job and harass you at your job? Wouldn't you get mad too? He was like, bro, cool out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody see you. Everybody clap for you. You know what I mean? Your boy. He kept on. So Deion Cole was like, bro, I'm trying to work. And you interrupted me getting my money. And you interrupting these people's entertainment. He was like, dude, you must want some. So we like, so we thought he was just playing. He was like, bro, if you want some, come on up on this stage and get it then. So we looking like, for real? We thinking this is an act. We thought it was an act, right? Because we like, oh man, security gonna run up and he ain't gonna. They let this man walk on stage and Deion Cole fight on his ass right on the stage. Right hand to God. Fight on his ass right there on stage. I'm not lying.
No, that might have been the show.
Dude,
that might have been part of the show.
Dude, we was like, at first we was like, man, was dude in on this? No, he fight on his ass with like, man, I'm from Chicago, bro. Don't run up on me. I love Memphis, but y'all know what it is. I was like, this man got fired on by a committee. Then he got kicked out. Then, so we going crazy. Because it's only, like I said, it's like 85 people at the show. Then Mike Epps stick his head out like, man, what the hell just happened? So just Mike Epps run out like, he was like, man, I can't. He was like, man, he was like, first of all, I'm high.
Already.
And I done forgot my whole routine. He said a nigga done got fired on in his joint. Then man said, man, only words I got is that nigga got knocked the fuck out. So everybody went crazy, man. And it was just Mike Epps just freestyle like for 2 hours. He was like, I'm finna get y'all came to see his show. I'm finna get he's at freestyle for like 2 hours, just talking to folks and whatever, doing his thing, right? Mm-hmm. But Deion Cole was hilarious. He was hilarious then. Like he was like we were in stitches laughing at that dude.
That nigga's always now I put like this. I hate this show, but
Blackish?
Yes. But
why you hate Blackish?
He's the only reason why I stomach they jump when that nigga is there.
Why you hate Blackish, man?
It's not to me, it's not a real image of the black household.
Come on, man. Come on. Why you say that? Why you say that?
That and all the men are buffoons. All of the men in the house are buffoons.
Really?
The baby son IQ was like 3. The oldest son, come on now. He's just as dumb. And the dad, how they have the dad on the show, he's just as slow and his only focus it's a stereotype. His focus is on his shoes, his new how his clothes look, and his hairline.
Man,
I just don't like everything is like I don't know, man. It's the image. I liked it the first season, and then the second season I started seeing
some other stuff coming there.
Yeah, and then the third season I was like, oh, okay, I see what they finna try.
Well, you know,
so I just quit watching it, and then every once in a while I try and turn it over there and just see if they've changed, and I'm like, nope, still the same.
Nah, still the same. Well, you know, come on now. Like, you know, they ain't gonna let us have all the fun. You know that. They ain't gonna let us have all the fun, man. You gotta be some type of cooning going on over there a little bit so that, you know, so that won't be that big of a problem.
It's too much. Too much.
I mean, I watched this show, but, you know, I don't watch it like that. Like, I ain't just into it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Man, where is my phone at?
Man, you probably left that joint over there on Brooks Road where you been hanging out at all day.
Man, don't play like that. Never.
So this is another quick Eddie Murphy fact, right? Like, so I'm just going down all these different thing. You got Eddie Murphy. So this is check out this run from 82, right? So 48 hours, Trading Places, Best Defense, which is that's a new one on me.
Yeah, I still don't know what that one is.
Beverly Hills Cop, The Golden Child, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Eddie Murphy Raw, Coming to America, Harlem Nights, Another 48 Hours, Boomerang, The Distinguished Gentleman, Beverly Hills Cop 3, Vampire in Brooklyn, then of course you had that was 95, 96.
Now let's go on this run.
The Nutty Professor, Metro, Mulan, Dr. Dolittle, Holy Man, Life, which is one of my favorite movies, Bowfinger, Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, Shrek, Dr. Dolittle 2, Showtime, The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Now pause.
There you go.
Showtime. Showtime.
Yeah.
It sounded good.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro and Eddie Murphy? Bet.
Yeah.
No,
sir. No, sir.
That rank would be rank 41.
Yeah, it probably would. No, sir. Yeah, he just and that man's name was Officer Trey Sellers.
Okay.
So then, Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another one. I Spy.
Hey man, that wasn't that bad. And the reason why I say that it was just as good as the Bill Cosby joint.
Wasn't that a TV show?
It was a movie and a TV show.
I'm saying the Cosby thing, was that a TV show and a movie? I Spy? I thought it was just a TV show.
I thought it was a movie.
Oh, I could be wrong. I don't know. Then you've got Daddy Daycare.
Yeah.
The Haunted Mansion. That
one I don't remember.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion. Yeah. It was like a supernatural comedy.
I'm sure that was pretty good. I'm sure that was a pretty good kids movie.
But that was a Disney thing too.
Yeah,
that was a Disney thing too. Shrek 2.
Yeah,
and then Dreamgirls, 2006.
Yeah.
Norbit.
Yep.
Shrek the Third.
Yep.
Then there's Meet Dave.
I do remember that. That was a pretty cool movie. He played like a little alien android or something like that. Yeah.
And then you got Imagine That.
Yeah.
I've seen that one too.
Yeah.
Shrek Forever After.
I don't remember.
Now you know what? Did you see Tower Heist?
Yes, that was a dope movie.
Tower Heist was a dope movie.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I was gonna make mention of it, but when you start naming them off, I was like, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people. That was a
great movie.
They slept on that movie.
Yeah.
1,000 Words.
Yeah.
Mr. Church.
That's the movie that I did not see.
You need to see Mr. Church.
Just looking at the cover, I wasn't motivated to even watch it.
Mr. Church is actually a good movie, man. It's a good movie. It's probably his most serious movie.
Okay.
And acting wise, he did not do a bad job at all.
Because that was his last movie before he did Dolomite.
Yes.
And I think that was the reason why he did Dolomite, because he didn't want that to be his last movie.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And then, of course, this year, Coming to America 2 is coming out. Yeah.
And I want to say he's finna do another Beverly Hills Cop or something like that. He's supposed to do a
Beverly Hills Cop 4, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's something.
Oh, look, you continue if you go get my phone.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So you got Dolomite Is My Name, Coming to America 2. And also, if we're looking at TV, so this guy, I know everybody's familiar with the PJs that ran from 99 to 2001. And and I think he had of course, did a bunch of stuff, Shrek, and a couple Disney TV specials and whatnot. And this dude gets credit, which is along with the Disney thing, he gets credit for the donkey voice on the Shrek 4D theme park ride. So when it comes to it, man, like Eddie Murphy is in of course, his voice is a very funny. He has a very funny voice. Um, Man, he gets credit for a lot of stuff: American actor, voice actor, director, producer, screenwriter, comedian, author, songwriter, and singer.
Yes.
Wow. It's
I'm
amazing,
telling you, man. Now name any of your comedians that even have any of that list.
Wow. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna look one up. And this particular one, I'm gonna see what.
Because I think Kevin Hart, he probably just maybe reached the barrier of bypassing Eddie Murphy on the stand-up
You said Kevin Hart.
Passing the 50 million mark or whatever like that.
Yeah.
Movie wise, I don't think half of the movies that Kevin Hart has played in he has written or even produced. Maybe the last few movies he has produced, but he ain't written them.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing with Eddie Murphy does, I don't think he has anything like what Kevin Hart have, like Hart Productions or anything like that. That might be the other thing. He never had his own
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, he never had his own company.
That
might be my only thing.
No, I think he did.
He does.
I think he does. I'm pretty sure he does.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he does.
Okay. It might not just be known like how Kevin Hart does Heartbeat and all that. Okay.
Because I'm just looking at like just with Chappelle, like Chappelle, American stand-up comedian, actor, writer, producer.
Now Dave Chappelle is a writer in different ways, but he hasn't written any movies.
No, him and Neil Brennan wrote Half Baked. They wrote that.
Okay, but outside of that one,
I mean, I don't know about outside of that one, but I know him and Neil Brennan talks about that on a podcast with Talib Kweli about.
Now that nigga is hilarious too.
Who, Neil Brennan? Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a great comic. Absolutely. Neil also talked about how a lot of, which is interesting. He said that when they shop stuff that they wrote to different studios or whatever, he would present it as if he wrote it because he knew they would accept it, versus if Dave brought it, which is interesting. I found that to be interesting. And how they both talk about how a lot of times when they present a script or present something, that they don't even say who wrote it. It could be either one of them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have to have that back and forth on who writes the most material or who writes the better material or whatever, because both of them put material together for, his stand-ups and for shows and for Neil's stuff or whatever. So, which I find to be interesting. But just getting back to Eddie Murphy for a second, is I think Eddie Murphy, in my opinion, I believe that if you're going to, if I had a Mount Rushmore of comics, this is my Mount Rushmore. I would put on that Mount Rushmore. So was there 4 heads on Mount Rushmore?
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure your Mount Rushmore may be different, but my Mount Rushmore of comics, of comedians, is probably going to be, I'm going to say, because I'm going to say Richard Pryor. I'm going to say George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, and Dave Chappelle. That's my comedy. That's my comedy. I guess. What did I say? Comedy.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. I'm sorry. So that's mine, and of course, and there's some other names that I probably could change out. If it's tomorrow, I might say Bill Cosby, or I might say who I think is extremely funny. George Wallace is just a ridiculously funny comic to me. Old school. John Witherspoon was just ridiculously funny, like just stupid. For like, I got a chance. I thank God I got the chance to see John Witherspoon do stand up. Like, it was hilarious.
His stand up was funny?
Yes, sir. His stand up was hilarious, man. Like, he came to Memphis. I think him, some more, and somebody else did a show in Memphis back in like the early 2000s. Like, dude, John Witherspoon was funny. Or I would, you know what? I would take that back. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say Richard Pryor. I'm gonna say Dick Gregory, Eddie Murphy, and Dave Chappelle. That's my 4. I don't know who you would pick for yours, but
interesting. Well, I named mine earlier, but Mount Rushmore. Of course, number 1 is going to be Bernie Mac. Because he was funny in movies and on his stand-up.
His TV show was one of my favorite shows of all time.
Bernie Mac show. That
Bernie Mac show was so funny, dog. Oh my God, it was funny, man.
So this is what I mean about depictions of a black household. That was something that you could relate to, and he was making it work as a black household probably would, or the things that we encountered. That blackish, no.
Well, it's a different. You got to think about the networks too. ABC's always been a little,
but still,
you know what I'm saying.
But this is the reason why I'm saying what I would gravitate towards as far as why I wouldn't watch Blackish.
Yeah,
but Bernie Mac, Eddie Murphy, Bill Cosby, Dave Chappelle.
Strong. Yeah, that's strong. That's real strong.
What do you think about? And while we speaking about comedians and stuff, what do you think about Patrice O'Neal? Or have you even heard of
Patrice O'Neal? Patrice O'Neal. See, I'm thinking about.
I know who you're thinking of.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Corey Holcomb. Yeah. No,
that's what I was gonna ask about too. Now he's on my list of top comedians too, but that nigga so abrasive, boy.
Corey Holcomb is. Sometimes he sound like a hater, man. Sometimes he be. I'm not gonna say he don't be, but sometimes he be sound like a real hater.
Are you talking about his stand up, or are you talking about
just in general?
Have you heard his podcast and stuff like that?
Yeah. Sometimes just in general, he sounds like a real hater on some stuff, man. Because I like Corey Holcomb.
He's bitter.
He is. Faison Love is too. Like, you can always tell who bitter because they be like. When they be saying, like, because that's like the reason why I say that is
Faison Love is a type of person. He wanna, from what I peep, he wanna be able to talk shit and still be able to get certain type of deals.
Yeah, and
but you really not that funny like that.
Funny like that's what I'm saying. You really not funny like that. Like when I say that, like Corey Holcomb is funny, right?
Yeah,
Faison Love is funny, but they not.
Corey Holcomb funny like that though.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I ain't saying he ain't Eddie Murphy funny.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the reason why I say that is because their opinions are like always about these dudes up here, and I'm like, it would be different if you were on them cats' level. You know what I'm saying?
The reason why he would never be on that level because, as Corey Holcomb would say, he ain't with that sucker shit.
No, that ain't. No, that's not always the case.
Because as he would say, he ain't trying to take all those moist deals.
Nah, because Chappelle walked away from $50 million, dog.
This is true. He don't talk bad about Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, and at the time, see, it's also about when you're thought of as funny. Because when the Chappelle show first started, nobody was watching. When I say nobody, well, nobody, you couldn't.
None of us was.
We weren't. I was watching it because
I was up at night and I was
exactly because we had Comedy Central. Exactly. So, and we saw him in Robin Hood and Men in Tights. So we like, man, Dave Chappelle got a show. Oh, we gotta check this joint out. But
I was always up on his stand up, so that's the reason why I like it.
Exactly.
I seen the junk. I can't remember the junk that he did in DC and San Francisco. I was on them.
Killing Me Softly.
Yes,
dude. Yes. Oh my! Like I said,
that junk about the baby in the strip club coming out. I got weed, nigga.
The baby standing on the corner at 2:00 in the morning.
Yes,
weed.
Yes.
Dude, listen. But again,
now see, and like, okay.
And Patrice O'Neal was on the Chappelle show, by the way. And Patrice O'Neal was one of the funniest people on earth at that time. I'm not gonna lie.
And like, okay, the sound of a hater is like when Faison Love said that Dave Chappelle is not funny. Dude. I'm like, how you gonna say Dave Chappelle not funny? And he's talking about the Chappelle show. I'm like, did you not see the stand-up?
Yeah. See,
that's what I never heard Corey Holcomb say nothing like that, but Faison Love, he went out on a limb by saying that nigga wasn't funny. Like, dude, come on, man.
It's one thing to say that you don't like somebody, but just to flat out say they are not funny at all.
Right.
Dude,
there are people who have a taste that said, I don't like him. Just like I say I don't like Richard Pryor like that. But how he said it, like, dude, you know, come on, man.
But then it's like, you don't say that Richard Pryor is not funny. You just said, man, Richard Pryor just not one of my top comedy. Like, I get, you can't say Richard Pryor is not funny. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that. Hell, it's like somebody saying, man, Bill Cosby wasn't funny. What? Bill Cosby was hilarious. That's like saying, man, Jerry Seinfeld wasn't funny. Dude, are you serious? Like, you may not have dug his type of comedy, but Jerry Seinfeld is funny.
Man, I used to. There are people out there who will say that they don't like that. They don't like that comedian. They don't like that style of comedy or whatever. Mm-hmm. I used to date a chick who did not like the Chappelle show. Their relationship was short lived. You can't sit at the house with somebody and you watching the Chappelle show and it's like, what's funny about this? That's funny to you. I'm like, hey man, you gotta go.
No,
I'm sorry, baby. Bye.
Nah.
It's Chappelle over me.
If you think the Chappelle show was not funny, I'm sorry, we can't.
Yeah, we ain't vibing the same.
Nah, we can't.
Because I ain't finna stop watching this show.
Nah, we can't. We can't do that. That's like I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be really harsh, but if you watched Harlem Nights or Coming to America and you didn't laugh, we can't be friends. Just can't be.
There is something in that movie that you're gonna laugh about.
Yeah.
Whether it's telling that nigga to put that little shit away. Did nobody tell you put that little motherfucker, nigga?
I'ma kill you. You kill my brother. I'ma kill your ass quick. I'ma kill you. I'ma kill you quick. I'ma kill you. Stop shooting that little mother. Oh my God.
Man.
There's no way possible you cannot laugh at that, man.
There is some part that you're gonna laugh at.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, if you're listening to this podcast, one day you may be listening, but you, sir, you deserve a round of applause. You are one of the GOATs of all time that does not get the respect I think he should get, or we think you should get, but you get it from us, my man.
My nigga should have been got a lifetime achievement award like twice.
Absolutely.
Twice.
No question. I totally agree with that. 100.
Like, you can like if you just go, I don't know if Netflix have all his movies, but
They got several, I'm sure.
If you go through Netflix and just watch all of his movies, you're gonna have new abs because you're gonna be laughing so hard.
You got to, because you're gonna be tripping. You're gonna be tripping. I'm telling you, you're gonna be tripping.
I was rocking the Showtime movie. Even the Showtime movie is funny, but it's whack.
Yeah, that's one of the. That's, you know, everybody's got that. I mean, like,
he loved playing a police officer though.
Yeah, but you know, like, it's easy to play a cop. It's easy to play a cop for comedians to play cops, though. I think.
Really?
Because I mean, especially if you're like a beat cop or something. You know what I'm saying? How hard is that?
Did play one.
Yeah.
Right along.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's not. It's a kind of an easy thing for them to do. You know, they just kind of tell jokes. And, you know what I mean? Will Smith's done it. And shucks, just about everybody's played a cop in the movie. Now,
Bad Boys is pretty good.
Yeah. And if Chappelle played a cop, he'd be a weed smoking cop. He
played in Blue Chips with Martin.
Yeah. He was a thief.
Was it Blue?
No, that was Blue Street. Blue Street. Yeah, when Martin was a fake cop though. Yeah, he was a thief. Like, yeah. That's the one they tried to get him to put the dress on. He was like, I'm not putting no dress on. Yeah. Which
man, why they be trying to put all?
That's another podcast, bro.
Now they be trying to put our dope black actors and comedians in dresses and shit.
Yeah.
You know what would be funny, guy? Yeah. It would be so dope.
Yeah.
If you put on a dress and you just like, no, dude, why I gotta put on a dress for?
They stay trying to put us in a dress, man. I don't feel that. I wouldn't know what's up.
Why though?
Because, man, you know, that's just like
to fantasize about a nigga in a dress.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But you know, Eddie didn't put a dress on. Martin put a dress on.
Did Eddie put a dress on?
I think Eddie put a dress on.
I don't think he put no dress on.
Really?
No.
He ain't put a dress on Saturday Night Live?
No.
Never?
No.
Yes, he did put a dress on. Partner, he put a dress on in the Clumps. He put a dress on in in what's it called? Yeah. You know, it was his character, which he kind of took control of the situation. But yeah, he put a dress on. He played Respucia. When he played the woman, you know, the BBW, whatever, that was kind of him doing. It was, but he kind of took control of it on his own, though, playing different characters. But
he was,
you know what I mean?
He wasn't a man in a dress, though.
Yes, he was.
You know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
Well, okay, never mind.
But you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When I'm saying man in the dress is like when you saw Larry Johnson dressed as mama.
Grandmama.
I
didn't like that. I didn't like that.
That was a man. Not like, okay, when we talking about like a Big Mama's House and Respucia, these are like you're putting on the fat person suit, the all the fat layers of makeup and all this other type of stuff on the body or whatever like this to make up this character.
Yeah.
Grandmama
just put a dress on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean by he wasn't just a man in the dress though.
Yeah. I mean, it's a slight difference, but he still put a dress on though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Eddie Murphy, either way, you still one of the GOATs, bro. For real.
He is the.
Nah, he ain't the GOAT.
Dude.
Nah, he ain't the GOAT.
I just asked you who has this same discography list as him to top that. You said nobody.
No, we're talking if you're talking about well, you know,
real
quick, because we don't have to go through the whole thing.
I'm speaking. I guess I say black comedian.
Okay, if you say black comedians,
the GOAT.
Still, like it's him and his prior. It's him and his prior. Like for real, it's him and his prior.
Now the only other person,
him prior and Cosby.
The only other person who I would say who has these same record as him would be Cosby.
It's literally it's Bill.
Because even
it's
Bill Cosby has
Cosby,
some albums.
Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, like right there together. I mean, and the difference is Pryor has comedy. Pryor has actual, probably more comedy albums than probably those three. Those out of those three, he has the most comedy albums. Because Bill Cosby did music albums too, where he did jazz albums.
Yeah,
plus his comedy albums. And then Eddie came in that same vein, and he did music too, because Eddie was musically inclined. Now the other thing, don't forget about Eddie's brother, rest in peace, Charlie Murphy.
Now
is a funny Negro.
I didn't like his stand-up,
dude. It ain't about his stand-up.
Now,
it's about his storytelling.
He's very funny, but he didn't tell stories when he on his stand-up though. That's what I hated about it.
But see, that was the thing that he kind of saved for Dave's stuff, and for his brother stuff, because they all broke together.
That's what I was expecting with one of his comedy specials that I had watched, and I was like, oh, okay, he finna tell a story.
Yeah,
the nigga was telling the jokes, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm disappointed.
Yeah, but dude, one of the greatest storytellers ever.
Yeah, I would agree.
Absolutely, 100%.
But you never told me what you thought about Patrice O'Neal. We got to talk about Corey Holcomb.
Patrice O'Neal. He left way before his time, man. God, he left way before his time.
That man was hilarious.
That whole bit, the player haters ball. Pit bull. Oh my God, dude! That whole
was Buck Nasty, wasn't it?
No. Buck Nasty was Charlie Murphy. I know this. Okay. No, sir, you can't. That is one of my favorite skits. Dude, Pit, man, look, Pit bull, man, shit, dude, that shit was so funny, man. And them, Chappelle, Patrice O'Neal, Charlie Murphy, and Donnell Rawlings.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit was hilarious, man. Hilarious, bruh.
I hate he only had like one stand-up.
Dude,
man.
Oh my God. His stand-up was so funny, man. Yeah. Oh my God, he was so funny. He left way before his time.
He might got another one floating out there, but I just hate that there's one, like, just one real special that he had out there. That joke was hilarious.
Absolutely, man.
And I think that's where Corey Holcomb get his that style of comedy from, because Patrice O'Neal is that.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be sitting he'll look at you with you and your girlfriend. He was like, do you like fucking her? He'll just look directly at both of them and he'll be like, do you like fucking her? Oh my God. He's like, I don't think you do. He just look like, he'll just be like, ugh. He'll say stuff like that. You be dying laughing. I'll be like, wow. And then they pan the camera over to them and he'd be like, yeah, I can see what he's talking about.
Oh my God. Dude. Hilarious.
Oh man, hold on. I got to pause for the calls for a second. I'll be right back.
Pause for the calls.
Yes.
I'm assuming is a quick little fact that I found, and it's also interesting when certain comics talk about other comics, I think. And this is real quick. This is an article from okplayer.com. Shout out to okplayer from January 6, 2020, and it's Martin Lawrence talking about Dave Chappelle's Inside the Actor Studio comments. Just some little stuff about Bad Boys. Of course, the new movie Bad Boys for Life, and some of the stuff that he's doing. Excuse me. And he mentions, it says here, Elsewhere in the interview, the actor and comedian also spoke on Dave Chappelle's Inside the Actor Studio appearance in 2006. Chappelle has spoken on how destructive Hollywood culture could be and used Lawrence's 1996 incident where he ran into the streets of LA with a loaded gun. Upon being apprehended, it was declared that Lawrence was suffering from exhaustion and dehydration. Let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough would be on the street waving a gun screaming, "They're trying to kill me"? What's going on? Chappelle asked during the appearance. Upon being asked by a GQ interviewer what was going on at the time incident, Lawrence says, "Well, there's no need to relive the past, but I was young and I made some irresponsible choices. And, you know, carrying a gun when I shouldn't have been carrying a gun and just getting into things that I shouldn't have been getting into." He also brought up another comment that Chappelle mentioned. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick. Chappelle had made the comment in regards to Lawrence and other celebrities and how people may be quick to dismiss them as crazy.
Nigga, what did you read?
I'm talking about, see, you just messed up the whole flow. See, you the one went and took a shit real quick, and then you going to come back to the microphone asking me what I'm doing. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? How you going to go take a boo-boo? You going to go take a boo-boo doing a podcast.
Hey, man.
And then come back and ask me what I'm talking about when I'm holding it down. Talking about how one goat is talking about another goat in a conversation.
Okay.
So, and this is Dave Chappelle's comments about comedians when they have their, well, not just comedians, when you have people in Hollywood who have their breakdowns or they have their incident or whatever the case is, right? And so he was just talking about, like, man, how Martin was waving the gun in the intersection and he was saying people trying to kill him and stuff. He's like, man, that's the environment that we're in, you know what I'm saying? And it's dismissive to call folks crazy. Like, everybody has their little thing. Like, Chappelle quit the show and went to Africa and everybody said he was on crack, and Martin waved the gun, and Eddie Murphy was picking up the trans person, and you know what I'm saying?
Crews said Harvey Weinstein touched him.
Okay. I think that's a perfect time to end the podcast right there.
What?
I do not like Terry Crews. I think Terry Crews is full of shit.
Indeed.
I think Terry Crews is full of shit.
Why you say that?
Terry Crews is full of shit. Okay, I'm not even finna get into it.
That somebody touched him?
I didn't say not that nobody touched him. I think Terry Crews is full of shit.
Just in general.
I think he's a class A panderer. That's what I think.
Panderer.
Pander. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, shout out to the GOAT Eddie Murphy.
Yes, indeed. That nigga put a lot of people on, man.
A bunch.
Even if you go back and look at the Beverly Hills Cop joint, Damon Wayans was in that movie.
Yeah, but you know that's all Robert Townsend too
How?
They was with Robert Townsend, Hollywood Shuffle, Damon Wayans, and all them. They was back there with him.
Eddie Murphy too.
Well, Murphy was up at the time, but was with Robert Townsend.
The Wayans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they go way. You know, Wayne's like 60. Damon and his brother like 60.
Damn.
Yeah, because Townsend did that before. Robert Townsend was doing that thing, but way before Tyler Perry came along. He was like,
I just never liked Robert Townsend. That nigga wasn't funny to me.
Not himself, but his writing and his production.
Yeah,
he knew how to put some stuff together, though. Yeah,
I keep hearing how much of a G he was.
Oh yeah,
don't nobody talk bad about this nigga.
Hell no, you better not. For real.
It's almost spooky. Like you might come up missing if you talk bad about it.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, don't nobody say nothing negative about Robert Townsend.
I see.
Yeah, at all.
I see.
And I used to think Robert Townsend was like super corny. I thought he was like corny. But they said like off screen, he was a straight like G.
Meteor Man!
Oh man. Meteor Man. Wow. Meteor Man.
Oh my goodness, the bullshit we had to.
It was like Meteor Man, Leonard Part 6.
Man, yes.
Showtime. Yeah.
Robert Townsend's like, oh, this nigga came out with Leonard Part 6. I'm gonna give y'all this Meteor Man, my nigga. I'm gonna give you this Meteor Man, and you gonna deal with this.
Some hot BFI. Hot garbage.
I think, let's see. Yeah.
That's all I got, man.
Man, you didn't bring nothing to the table, nigga.
Man, I know damn well you ain't say that. I've been waiting on this shit for 3 days.
What?
What? To talk about this? What you mean? What you mean? What?
I apologize, sir.
You ain't got to apologize. Man, get your ass out of here.
What you got? That's all?
That's it, man. That's
You
all I
got
got,
nothing?
man. That's all I got.
So Patrice O'Neal, Corey Holcomb, Deion Cole, Bill Cosby. Oh, one other. Okay, I do got one other thing,
What you got?
and it's nasty too.
What?
Not nasty like that, but nasty like because I think I'm finna. All right. Well, I just say this. What do you think about Oprah Winfrey right now?
Man, look. I'm gonna say this real quick. I don't even want to talk about that, the Oprah and all that shit. That's a whole nother podcast. All I'm gonna say is that shit.
That's the reason why I say it's nasty.
Just I don't even want to talk about that shit. Like the reason
because
why
she's only gunning for.
I don't even want to talk about that shit, man. Because
okay, we still talking about the R. Kelly joint. My niggas in jail. It has done its job. We still talking about the joint. You rekindle an exonerated person who's dead. Talk about him. And you are best friend with this white dude, Harvey Weinstein, and you ain't came out with no documentary of nothing whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why.
She friends with some other folks. It was somebody else that she was friends with that she used to have on her show that I can't remember the person's name, and I saved it on my phone. But yeah, I guess we can talk about it on the next podcast, whatever. But that's what I'm saying, man. You only talking about these people. Your people.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to have been this journalist where you talked about everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that
was how she came up. Like she talked about white and black, everybody.
That's why I said, man, that's a whole different podcast. That whole Oprah thing right now, man. I'm just looking into it and kind of what her take on it, the input, the thing she's supposed to be. She might be called as a character witness and all that kind of stuff or whatever, but I don't want to talk about that shit, man. Because Oprah as all of this stuff unfolds, and truth be told, as all this stuff and again, man, I really don't even just whole way.
And she was friends with 4-5.
But listen, I'm not surprised. Like I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But at the same time, like, that all this, we crucify this person here and we get this person a pass. Like, I ain't with all that shit. If they going down, let them all go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got no problems with it. Like, I don't care if it's one of my heroes or not. Let them all burn. You know what I'm saying? Like, let them all go down. But you can't, you can't have a special on MJ and whoever else, and then
don't talk about
this boy over here, like, he left and went to rehab. He got a problem and all that shit, and you don't say nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say a thing, because that's one of your boys.
Don't have a special. Don't make no comment.
None of that. No, like, but that's one of your guys.
Don't even send Gail after.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway, man. Yeah.
And speaking of when I said about 4 or 5, we can probably close out on this joint. Our last podcast, we was talking about what impeachment, man.
Yeah, ain't none. It's not any. I mean,
this nigga played a Trump. This nigga played a checkmate by like, hey, what people don't know is now you can still have a new election or whatever. but you cannot impeach a standing president in the middle of wartime.
Well, he's already been impeached. That's the thing. He's already been impeached.
But he can't be removed out of office in the middle of wartime.
See, that's the thing. The impeachment, people, the word, these are buzzwords. Impeachment, people seem to think that impeachment means, automatically he's out of here.
Oh,
that's not what that is ever meant.
That's why we was talking about last week.
Yeah.
He gonna be removed out of office when his term is over with.
Yeah.
But because of this war, he might get reelected because of him in the war.
But you know what? I wouldn't, the way we are now, and again, this is a whole different podcast, but where we are now is the way this country is now. He would have gotten reelected without the war.
This is true.
He would have gotten reelected without it. Like, I'm not surprised. Like, it's not surprising to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about it. And it's not a shock. It's not a shock that he decided to go blow somebody up. I was like, when is it going to happen? I knew it was going to happen.
What's shocking though is, all right, so the shocking part, everybody was talking about it on social media, but what's shocking about it is that they made memes about it. It's a joke. Like, my nigga, we going to war, y'all joking about this shit.
That's the development over time of the desensitizing of violence in this country based on what we've seen on TV and heard in music. It's no surprise.
Have you seen the memes? I've
seen them. And a lot of them are sickening, if you ask me.
I was like, dude, y'all do some of y'all who making these memes, y'all finna be over there.
But see, the thing is this, right? Yeah, funny jokes, funny. Some of them are funny, right? Man, that's hilarious. It's funny. When you look at it at its core, though, what if that shit really happens?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because there's certain things as we take that piece, and I'm going to take that piece and relay it back to what we were talking about earlier. Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Richard Pryor, they're comedians. Mm-hmm. So they have to take bad stuff and turn it into something funny, because that's one of the last free forms of expression in society right now is comedy. So you got to have that to balance out the bad shit, right?
Right.
When everyday folks and thousands of people are joking about that type of stuff, it's kind of desensitizing to a bit, because when it actually does happen, your whole world is over. It's going to crush you from top to bottom. And you're going to think that is no God and no nothing. But no, you cracking jokes about, but I'm telling you, it's built up over time. The ignorance and the desensitizing of the important things in society. And that's where we are. It's not comics or comedians. They were to come in and buffer us between bad shit. I think real life.
I think social media is a form of warfare right now.
It always has been. Think about it. Hell, it has been for the last probably 4 or 5 years. You think about it. You say one person says a bad thing about somebody, and people who've never met that person are going to like and repost that, like and repost. Mm-hmm. And now you got 30,000 people not liking one person for something that they don't even know what they don't like them about.
But the other crazy thing about that is, like, with this war thing, the kids that's going, they don't either know how to fight. All they know is social media and memes. They don't even really know how.
Well, the ones that's actually going to fight, they've been trained to do so. You know what I'm saying? They've been trained to do so. They have. But social media brings a different perspective. Yeah. And the last thing I'll say about this is this. Because of social media, one thing I will say about it, globalization, in part with social media, shows that people outside this country know that the people of this country don't want this bullshit.
Right.
Real talk. They know that that most American people, I don't care how you vote, most American people are like, man, I don't want to get blown up and I don't want to blow up other people.
At all. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, seriously. And that's why you have leaders from other countries like, hey, man, I don't hate the American people. I hate the way that American leadership thinks. Mm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like they know, they see it, they know.
Man,
so yeah.
I was like, where did this come from? This nigga.
Man.
I'm stopping a war from happening.
Okay. Yeah, dude must have finna tell where you got your stuff hid at, and you went and took that man out.
My nigga was like,
anyway,
I'm stopping a war from happening, guys.
This man sounds just like dude.
You'll thank me later. Like, no, my nigga.
Yeah, that's 25 plus 20 for you.
Hey, but well, you know what? I can't.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Because you don't even want to find yourself agreeing with this nigga with you.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yep. That's all I got, homie.
Eddie Murphy is the GOAT. I don't care what nobody say. Eddie Murphy is the GOAT. Kobe Bryant is better than MJ. I said it here. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
For real.
Okay.
The only reason why he don't have more rings than Jordan is because his spat with Shaq.
Okay.
I'm gonna come when we next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna have my pointers, and it's gonna be.
And I'm gonna have mine too.
Okay, bet.
And I'm a Kobe fan. I will wear his jersey next week, and I'm gonna tell you exactly why you wrong.
I mean, the only thing that y'all have that y'all throw up are the rings.
Save it.
The rings. That's it. But okay, all right. I got my material ready.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So is it? Are we just gonna be speaking on Kobe and MJ? That's it, right?
Yeah, we can do
Kobe is better.
We can do some other comparison stuff. We can do some other comparisons just to make it, make it all relevant. Shout out to Eddie Murphy again.
Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy.
Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy.
But yeah, I'm going to end this joint. It's kind of boring. Ain't no football going on. Yeah, I go ahead and end this joint. I am your host, Jason J. Will Does It. And I got my guy over here who. This is a pretty good podcast, man.
Yeah. I'm digging it, man.
I ain't gonna check you. I ain't gonna check you today.
Good.
I ain't gonna check you today.
This is Ivan the Great, by the
Although
way.
you got these now socks on.
He's taking too long because I knew he's finna check, so I had to go on and step in and do my outro on my own. This is Ivan the Great, aka Shaw, SHAW. This is how we do it.
This nigga got some sherbet, orange sherbet.
This is how we do it. We're signing off on the Tangent podcast. Holla at your boy. Peace.
Are these the twins?
We ain't talking about my socks.
Are these the
Peace
twin
out.
socks?
I'm through.
I'm gonna have to hit the twins up to see if you took their socks.
Daddy, you wore socks today. He from Westwood, so he don't know how to do nothing else but be disrespectful.
Oh boy. And we out this.
See, I left the mic because I don't care no more.
Well, holla, we out this joint.